Atlanta by that time had lost out to Richmond as the capital of the new Southern nation. Word reached the government that federal soldiers and slaves had taken over Atlanta on May 12, 1862, and that they now proceeded to burn down the city and thus all but cut the Confederacy in half. Orders went to Colonel George W. Lee to rush 4 companies to the rescue of his home city. They found that in reality, a warehouse had accidentally burned down from some boys smoking cigars on its roof, and some adjoining structures had also caught on fire. Except for the war, the fires would likely have gone unnoticed in a city where such events were a weekly occurrence in peace. The public, however, did believe that the city had spies, arsonists, and saboteurs, black and white, among the thousands of refugees fleeing from the federal advance in Tennessee, and the many thousands who would follow and bring Atlanta's population from just over 7,000 to more than 15,000 people. 3 suspected enemy agents were arrested in the city that month, 2 of whom Lee released for lack of evidence, but were later taken into custody again in Alabama. The 3rd man went as a prisoner to Richmond with evidence of a conspiracy. Lee established order in the frightened city and appointed a provost marshal for military security of the streets and mounting government supplies. Visitors now had to register, and hotels had to report suspicious strangers. Residents and soldiers now needed passes to walk the streets. Some Atlantans, however, criticized him for his liberal treatment of slaves and freed persons. Before he could do much more, orders arrived for him to return to his command in Savannah and move a brigade to Richmond to help fend off a federal invasion of Virginia. Bureaucratic incompetence caused changes in command in the Deep South that resulted in Colonel Lee as the senior officer. On the way to Richmond, he had a relapse of his tuberculosis, although by the middle of June he commanded at Petersburg, Virginia, with a brigade that almost reached the size of a division. These regiments, as a Lawton Brigade, soon went into years of the most savage fighting of the war, but without Lee. Because of his poor health, he had to resign his commission again on July 15, 1862. He returned to Atlanta. His role in saving Richmond has been completely overlooked then and since.